I have concepts of a plan.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Well, what have we here?
It's a podcast.
Fine.
And what excitement we have today.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Note to young broadcasters, microphone on before you start talking. It's been so go that it's weird to just have like a normal week where we're just coming in and from our various studios doing the show. Whoa. It just feels abnormal to me. We've been flying around so much.
Are you back on schedule after the daylight savings and
I
the trip to
think
Vegas?
so, and I got a fabulous night's sleep, but I still feel just a tad out of sorts. I survived all the travel. The only one that got sick was Mr. Soroka, who has informed us now that he has a sinus infection on top of his cold. So he's been dragging his butt. What's that?
Yeah, I got prescriptions now.
Well, good for you.
Talk to a doctor.
That's
You're
good.
going
And
to feel better, but make sure you take those antibiotics till the end of the prescription, even if you
10
think
days.
you're better. 10 days.
10 days.
10 days, Jerry.
Are you?
No.
I have to ask this based on your
Yeah.
team. Are you vaccinated for COVID?
Did you get that breaking news during the show open?
What was that?
Daniel Jones benched.
Oh, did it just happen? He changed the subject, which means he's
I did
not
change the
vaxxed.
subject.
Yes. Wow, really? So it's been determined.
Yeah, it's been determined.
So
Drew
who are
Lock?
they going to put in there?
They have not said who's replacing him. They just said it will not be Daniel Jones next
There it is. Well, the Giants Nation happy today. Happy, joy.
Are
We've
they
got
really happy, or will that just give them something else to bitch about?
Well, I'm one of them. You don't have to ask about them. Say,
Well, I mean, okay.
I am one. So, are you happy? I can speak for the fan base.
I feel bad, Mike, for using the wrong pronoun for you. What I meant is that the entire Giants Nation, as a rule.
Oh,
I know
this
happy.
makes us very happy.
Okay.
100%. There's no real Giants fan, in my humble opinion, that's going to be bummed about this. It can't be. You're talking about 6 years of incompetence.
Yeah, I was going to say until Sunday, right?
Well, no, but as far as you're asking about the move, and the move is solid. I will tell you, thoroughly enjoying the Buffalo Bills because of my buddy Jimmy beating the Kansas City Chiefs, but take nothing away from the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, who is a stud. Yeah, he threw the one interception late in the game. That was a big deal. But the dude is an artist. Josh Allen is an artist. And you watch those guys play the game at the level they play the game, and then you realize for 6 years we've had Mr. effing Magoo playing quarterback for the New York Giants, and it's just it opens your eyes. So that after watching that level of talent, and then hearing this news right before the show, it's great. Now we've got to talk about the big story of the weekend,
right.
And to do that, what is the name of your son's podcast that he does? What does he do?
It's not a podcast; it's a website.
It's a website he works on.
Mm-hmm.
We learned last week that Rob doesn't know the name of it. So we better just ask Rob.
I believe it is Super Terrific Happy Fight Club. .net.
You don't.
That was super close.
What is it, Robert? What is it?
It's MMA Fight Feed, but I'm all as of right now. I'm on like a little bit of hiatus just because stuff going on at work here. It's playoffs for WE Sports team this weekend. Quick shout out: we had 14,000 people watching our stream, watching us play video games. So that was awesome.
That's I give you a thumbs up on that, but I will also say that is probably the beginning of the dissolution of American civilization.
Yeah. Were you able to stream that, Robert, without it breaking up?
No.
Or
no.
glitching? Okay.
No glitches.
Well, let's get into it. You're here to talk about Friday night, and the fact that we were in Las Vegas leading up to this, and you just could not drive 10 feet without seeing a massive poster of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and it was hype. I don't profess to be an expert as to the business side of things, but I will tell you that I've always been pretty good at sniffing out a scam, and I know people say, well, you're surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised at anything, but I will just tell you, I looked forward especially with my family in town, with my brother-in-law, sitting down and watching the fight. And as soon as the first undercard went the distance, because they probably were told to go the distance, I started smelling the rat that the whole thing was. But even before that, let's take it right. I'll take it all the way through the fight itself, then the streaming issues, which were multifold, but I want to start with the broadcasters. They rolled out, I believe his pedigree is WWE. I don't remember the guy's name. They roll out the puker of pukers as the announcer for this fight, who's like this all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, he's horrible.
Tyson is breathing hard right now.
Josh, if you can find out the name of the announcer who was the fight announcer for the Netflix special, and when you see him on camera, he's wearing a blue tuxedo with the black tie. I mean, as stylish as 1989 that's out there. And I'm looking at this going, he is dressed, yes.
Mario Ronaldo.
If you can put a picture up
of sports broadcaster.
A combat sports broadcaster.
A popular one, Mike. He's popular. That's nice that he's popular.
Netflix has given us Dave Chappelle. Netflix has given us John Mulaney. The icons of comedy. This is the first foray of the flicks of net into the realm of professional boxing. And two things are at play here. You immediately realize you are dealing with a hack broadcasting team. Mm-hmm. You have this trifecta. You have, what's the guy's name? Mario Ronaldo?
Well, it's also Cody Momartz.
Okay, because there was like every sporting event now. You have the analysts and then you have the play-by-play guy.
Right. So this is Big Mo.
I'll tell you who it is. That's the ring announcer who was also a jive ass. I'm looking for now. Is that's Cody?
That's Cody.
Yeah,
Cody
he looks
Momartz?
like a Cody. He looks like a Cody.
Yep.
I think the Mario Ruffalo or whatever.
Yep, I'm gonna find a picture
that
of
guy
Ronaldo.
is working. Ronaldo. He is working with Roy Jones Jr., a guy that's multiple blows to the head, as any boxer who's been doing it a while. And then you have in the middle, for no real reason, Rosie Perez. And I don't understand it. Is it tough finding a picture of this guy? Because I bet it is. I bet he's just not.
No, there he is.
Let's say no,
But not
wrong
that
guy.
one either.
No, look for dyed black hair.
All right,
Mike. I think they probably went to Rosie Perez because I think.
Oh no, I think it's
Hold on.
the same guy that I just showed, but he got a transplant.
Let's see.
Oh
Because
no!
of
course he did.
Other picture of
Let
him.
me see.
Well, getting ready for the big event.
Well, his hair looked dyed black. It really did.
This guy?
Yeah.
See, this is the same guy I just showed, but now he's got hair.
Looked like a different dude. I'm not
I think that's
sure.
him from a couple of years ago because I don't know if he still does it. I know he used to be a WWE announcer, like you said. So that's how I recognize
Well,
him.
whatever, he was terrible, and I don't care what he looks like because he was terrible. I might
How
have
did
the right
Rosie
guy. I
do
might have
in
the
your
wrong guy.
estimation?
Horrible. My brother-in-law throughout the entire fight, it was making me laugh, going, "Good point, Rosie," just because there were just no real point. And then we get to.
No, they corrected Rosie a few times.
But it was horrible. And why was she there? This is Netflix. You could have
she have a
gotten the
show-
A-listers.
Did
Yeah,
she
you
have a
could've
show
gotten-
on Netflix, Rosie? I think they must have some history. But the best choice would have been if you went into the Netflix talent pool, Kevin Spacey. I would have loved to have seen him up there.
Did you watch the fight?
No, I
you're
was
doing
in bed.
you're doing unrelated shtick, which means you didn't watch one single second of it. You are boycotted from the discussion until we stop talking about the fight because you did not watch the fight. You should have. This is the man who never really stands up to the idea of the major pop culture event of the month or decade or whatever it is. This was a massive thing, and it was.
Yeah.
You would have loved it, Rob, because of the scam of it.
All right.
The
I see
grift
that.
was
I see
in.
that.
And
see
you would
that.
have enjoyed Cedric the Entertainer and Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Oh.
Because it was at the Cowboys Stadium. It was at AT&T. That's where they have it. So let's get to Robert III here to talk about. Robert, you watched the fight, I take it, right?
I did, yeah.
And
I have some quick stats too, if you guys need. So
lay them on
this,
us. Lay
so
them on us. Absolutely.
just to put it out there, so you guys know how big this was. This is officially the second biggest boxing event ever. Second behind Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, I believe. 65 million concurrent viewers.
Right.
One of the biggest things Netflix has ever hosted.
Mm-hmm.
Payouts, it's estimated Jake Paul made a whopping $45 million.
45. I thought it was 45 million. Right.
Yeah. And Mike Tyson only 20 million, which I was very surprised by.
That is because the fight doesn't, it's nothing without Tyson. I'm very sorry.
Exactly.
But this is the master marketer, Jake Paul, who
That's
is a
true.
better marketer than he is a boxer, even though he's a solid boxer.
Yeah, and we all believed that Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson.
We thought there
Going
was
into
a
this.
chance
We bought
because of
into
the
it.
hype machine.
I did. I mean, I did too.
But early on, when I saw the undercard, there was only one decent fight on the undercard, and that was the fight of the two ladies who were phenomenal. I mean, absolutely.
Beating the
but
brakes off each other.
Even then, the decision to give it to the Irish girl was hinky.
Yeah.
There were a variety of hinky moments in the undercard that I said, okay, this is going the distance for weird reasons. They're not really fighting each other. It's just there was so much crap. Then they bring in the bad announcers, but then it's all leading up to the moment. And as we got closer and closer to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, the streaming starts to go bat-ass. And I'm sitting there going, oh, of course, unprepared. The money that is paid to certain talent, and it defies imagination that they cannot have their technical house in order when they are doing this because of they don't anticipate that it's going to be a success. It's just I was looking at it saying, at one point it froze totally on me. You had the pixelation that was on and off. They did right the ship. I'll give them credit for that. But I had to turn it on and off 8 times to continue with the. It was horrible. What did you hear about it, Robert?
Mike.
I mean,
They
it
did the
looked
same
like
thing
it-
at Netflix. They had to turn it on and off. Just they unplugged it and restarted it.
It was horrible. It really was.
bad,
You
To
know,
me, it looked like Netflix was using like an illegal streaming site. Like everything was pixelated. It seemed delayed.
It did.
It just didn't seem right. And I believe I said it on the bonus show. So if you guys are listening and you haven't listened to that, then you definitely should go back and watch it. But
Probably should subscribe.
yeah, it definitely should. I just think.
Do you
it's
not have
so-
Netflix, Rob?
No, I do.
No,
I
we
do.
got
He's
that.
talking about the bonus
No,
show.
subscribe
Oh, yeah,
to the
bonus
TMOS
show.
bonus
Yeah.
show.
Right.
I think it's.
Did
it
you know
was
your kid was
so-
coming on to talk about the fight today?
Why would you say that?
I just was wondering whether you
Yeah,
knew
of
your.
course.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I just would think he'd watch it. Go ahead, Robert. What you were saying, I interrupted you.
It just
God.
it felt so like sketchy that Netflix, one of the biggest TV movie storytelling companies in general, is hosting a live boxing match that's not just like an exhibition. It is a sanctioned match with changed rules. Did you guys hear about all the rule changes?
Well, the round length, right?
It was 8 2-minute rounds. It was usually standards 3 minutes, and boxing matches are usually around like 9 to 12 lengths. So this was a lot shorter.
Right.
It went by so much quicker. They're
Yep.
using 14-ounce gloves instead of
That's how
10-ounce
you avoid
gloves.
the knockouts
Yeah.
with both those moves. So you
Making
make
it
them
so
go
the
deep.
heavier gloves makes it your punches are slower, so easier to get out of the way, more protection. And I mean, I hate to say it because I'm not a boxer, but from what I hear, a 14-ounce glove it hurts just a million times less than a 10-ounce glove. I mean, you could eat a punch to the face with a 14-ounce glove, but 10-ounce glove, you're not going to eat that. So I mean, there was all these things that are going on the line, or just
So if they
changing
had
it up
10-ounce
last minute.
gloves, if he had the lighter gloves, it would have been a more intense fight.
I mean, I think so. I think if you gave Mike Tyson a 10-ounce glove, he's gonna punch as fast as he usually does, but even harder than what he was hitting Jake with.
And of course, we were counting on Mike Tyson and I agreed with this in the analysis, the pregame analysis, that Tyson had to get his job done in round one or at least round two, and if he didn't do that, there wasn't going to be a chance because of his legs. And his legs, as any normal, as a normal 58-year-old man, you wouldn't have the leg strength to do it based on muscle mass.
No, and the larger gloves make sense on why we never saw that typical Tyson punch.
Okay, that might be, or the fact that Tyson really look. I know he trained. I know he held up his shirt with the 8-pack and all of that. But man, oh man, it was just early on the movement. He wasn't even. He was moving like even an older guy with his legs. His upper body was incredible, but it just seemed to me that the movement, especially later on in the fight, Guy, I've watched lots of videos on this of the deterioration of muscle mass that results in the way you move. 58 is a little tough to be bouncing in the ring. It was, but here it is. I was between the streaming and in particular the announcing. Right, even before the fight got started, I was like, this is as horrible a broadcast as I've ever seen. And for the money involved, you'd think they would have had gold standards and quality control. And have we had the question about Rosie Perez answered in any way as to why she was there? The Rob thing about the plausibility of a connection to Netflix might have said, but I'm not aware of what it was. Oh, and the announcer was plugging other things during the entire broadcast, like almost like he was sneaking it in. It was, oh God, it was
now,
horrible.
Did they even? Because I didn't watch. I have to know. Did they even truck in Michael Buffer? Because he does everything. He says no to anything.
No, that guy Cody, the tall drink
so
of
they
water,
didn't even have him. Right?
He was fine.
Buffer.
He was fine as a ring announcer. Ring announcer, you don't require that much. It was the broadcasters that were absolutely horrible. And then, go ahead,
Rosie
Raj.
Perez is known as the First Lady of Boxing.
By
she
who?
is a mainstay at
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
title
say
and
by
lower
who.
stake fights around the state of New York, and she boxes and trains regularly, despite not actively participating in fights.
The First Lady of Boxing.
The First Lady of Boxing.
I'm trying
to USA
that's-
Today.
Really?
You see, I always thought the first lady of boxing was Dr. Jill Biden.
I don't get it. But have we seen her? Has she done other boxing matches?
Mm-mm. This was her breakout.
It says she is a fan of fighting, so I don't know why they're giving her the nickname the First Lady of Boxing.
Wow, that's it was terrible. It was and Roy Jones Jr. was what did you think of his commentary, gentlemen? What did you think of Roy Jones Jr.? It's maybe too many blows to the head.
I thought it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna be blunt.
He was right about Mike's legs. He was right about Tyson's
okay.
legs.
I was also watching it at a bar with all my friends, like just a bunch of drunk college kids. So
you didn't hear the
broadcast
play-by-play.
wasn't like my big thing I was really paying attention to, but just based off what I've seen on Twitter and Instagram the last couple of days, just looking at it, I haven't heard a single good thing about it. Like really,
all the more reason if you were watching at a bar that if your dad had managed to take the time to watch it, it would have been really, really special. It really would have been something else. But anyway, yes, go ahead, Josh.
With all those streaming issues, do you know what their next big live event is for Netflix?
Sporting event?
It is the NFL Christmas Day Baltimore Ravens game.
Wow. Baltimore Ravens who weren't able to knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean
that's pretty interesting. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
that's a drag.
Right. I wish yesterday's game had some streaming issues.
The only thing that was redeeming was the fact that if you are a Netflix subscriber, you didn't pony up the $300 to get this fight. But once again, I still felt that ripped off feeling of being a rube and playing right into it. The guy from Barstool Sports, is it Rappaport? Is that the guy's name? Who was talking about that anybody who didn't smell this out as a scam is an idiot. I said, well, color me guilty. I thought we might have a real fight, and I thought there was a chance that Iron Mike was going to be Iron Mike. But right away, you realized that that wasn't going to be the case, and then you felt just what a waste of time. Really wasted time.
That's what I felt, especially for how long the event was. I like as much as I knew it was a scam. Like I feel like I knew it was a scam, but I just really wanted to believe that Mike Tyson was going to go out there and kick some ass. Like I've never got to see Mike Tyson fight in my life. This is probably the only time I'll ever see him do a walkout for a real sanctioned fight. As much as that hurts to say. I was stoked. I was pumped to see it. I wanted to see the old Iron Mike that I've heard so much about.
Yeah, and I was sitting there, Robert. I was sitting
Cool.
there with my brother-in-law, Paul, and I, who went to Atlantic City one time for Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes, and I was leaning over to talk to Paul, and at that moment, it was a one-punch knockout from Mike Tyson. So, and I remember all the fights of Mike Tyson when he was invincible. It was Rob. You were going to say something. I interrupted.
Robert,
Sorry
when you
about that.
watched this and you knew it was a scam going in, I think we all had our suspicions. Did you watch it with like the same lens that you would when you used to watch, and you still do, WWE? Because you know it's fake, but it's an exhibition of sorts? Or
in my head, that the way I wanted to see it was kind of like that, where it was predetermined. I knew Jake Paul was going to win. Like there's no way that Mike Tyson's going to win. I wouldn't if they're gonna rig it, like let's make it an entertaining fight. It wasn't even entertaining. Like Mike said, it just felt like such a waste of time.
Yeah,
and I'm also saying this as a college kid with a messed up sleep schedule. Like I went there and I stayed up late for this fight.
Right, as did
I just felt
a lot of people. I did not. I actually went to bed.
Out of this.
I went to bed and then I came back and I woke up and I watched it up until the ladies undercard, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get up in the middle of the night and watch it.
what time did the Tyson fight start?
Around
11?
midnight.
Yeah, like 11:30 midnight. It was
I think it was
late.
closer to midnight. It was on pace for 11, and they just delayed and delayed and delayed.
You know what? I know, Mike, you would love if I had watched it, but I'm glad I skipped it. I mean, I got a good night's sleep.
Well, you could have watched the replay multiple times. You could have watched the replay.
Well,
I didn't say
it was spoiled for me because I saw who won.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Did you guys see the clip of Tyson getting interviewed pre-match, and he just was like basically wearing a thong, and he just
wearing a junk.
Yeah,
you see, and he's interviewed by his son. He gets interviewed by his son, and then he walks away, and you see Mike's ass
is out.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great film work at that moment because
they knew what they were doing
until the interview's over, and the camera just focuses on him walking off,
and almost and doesn't move. Good camera work because it became the viral
really
moment of the fight.
That's
how
why
good a fight
Mike,
it was.
He is the first ass in boxing.
First ass, but he still has a persona that evokes fear more than any other boxer I've ever seen. I look at Mike Tyson. This is what makes great dramatic actors too. There's a level of danger in these guys, not necessarily the action adventure heroes, but the badass guys, the real badass guys that are credible. Jason Statham, Charles Bronson. There's a danger. Well, with Mike Tyson, there is a danger to Iron Mike that you see, and even at 58, that had credibility to me that he might ever, be able to come in and do something. But then I go back so long with the sport of boxing. It's why I'm an MMA guy. That it's just MMA never disappoints. It never disappoints. It's always going to deliver the fight they want because that's the rules of the game. But boxing, it's just rife with corruption and deception, and you never know what's going to. And this it made Mike Tyson and Jake Paul richer. But don't you agree that it did a disservice to boxing and hurt boxing again?
I 100% agree. I don't think I've never, like you said, like what you just said, I couldn't agree more. I've never really been a big fan of boxing. I understand it, and I understand all the hype behind it, but I'm more of an MMA guy. With that being said, Jake Paul is the reason to blame for all this. I mean, him and his brother started all this YouTube boxing when I was in maybe a freshman in high school, and it is still going, and it's evolved into something where Jake Paul, this internet kid, is getting 65 million people watching him fight at the exact same time, making $45 million in a fight that just can't help but seem rigged. I mean,
and Barstool Sports, the Barstool Sports guy, called him the best marketer of all time. And that
I
guy,
agree.
Rappaport, is an amazing marketer himself. Look what he's done with Barstool Sports.
Well,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think
Jay.
the Paul
Portnoy.
brothers just understand something that we don't. They grew up on social media, and they've since I don't know how old, but they've been famous for so long, and they will probably be famous until I'm like really old. Like they're gonna be around forever.
Like
And
30.
there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to accept it at this point.
Josh,
Like,
you were going to say something?
Oh, well, I was saying it's Dave Portnoy is the guy.
Dave
from Barstool.
Portney, not
Yeah.
Rappaport. I'm an idiot.
But
Dave
but
Portney,
also,
the pizza dude.
we
right.
were sucked into this also though because it was billed as the greatest boxer ever versus a YouTuber. So they wanted everyone to think, oh well, a YouTuber can't beat a boxer.
Right.
yeah.
Mike,
Did you think when he was bowing to him at the end that he was bowing because of respect, or he was just thanking him for the money?
Oh, I think
The latter.
his wallet
No.
was too heavy?
the
mean,
bow
yeah.
to me proved that he started pulling his punches in the second round. That he went
Well-
easy with Tyson to drag it out.
That reminds me. Have you guys seen the thing with Mike biting his glove?
Yeah,
was
he
gonna
bought.
ask you about that.
It was ridiculous. The whole fight.
So
it
Mike
was like,
kept biting his glove, which he never does. He doesn't usually do. I mean, this is my first Tyson fight, but from what I've heard, this is not something he usually.
he doesn't
does.
do it like he never did it like he did it in that particular fight. I've seen almost every Tyson fight, and he did it ridiculously, and I think it's being pot addled. I
Well,
think
what
that's
I
what it is.
I've seen an analysis that he was biting his glove as a way to keep himself in the mental frame of mind not to bring out the real Mike Tyson and murder this guy.
Well, that's what I heard too.
Really?
Yeah.
There's two things that
Wow. That's
I
new.
saw that I think is really weird, but I'm probably just social media overthinking it. One was he was only biting his glove after Jake Paul was getting these combos, to me, which felt like, hey, slow it down. Like let's get to the decision. Like stop. There again on that other side too. Early in the fight when Tyson had his energy and he was looking good, there were a couple times where he hit Paul with some big combos, and you'd see Paul like kind of exaggerate it, like stick his tongue out. But he did this a couple times throughout the fight, which to me it felt like, hey, Mike, pull your punches a little more. That hurt.
Yeah, anything's possible. Anything is possible. You don't know what the real deal is. It's a sleazy sport. It always has been a sleazy sport. It's always been questionable what really, really does happen. And once again, that gets me back to MMA, where really hard when you see somebody submit or you see somebody's forehead get split open. It's really hard to say, well, these guys are faking it and the fix is in. I just don't think it lends itself to that in MMA. It really does. Now, you can get a patsy that goes in there and knows he's going to get hurt, and that's, he's going to collect. But I just don't feel like that would happen in MMA nearly as much as it happens in boxing. The last fight I remember that pissed me off like that was Pacquiao-Mayweather, where Pacquiao didn't even arrive at the fight, and everybody smells a rat with this type of thing. But there's nothing better, in my opinion, though, to have a collective pop culture event that everybody can share. That's so much fun. And I think that's why, we have the Super Bowl. But I will say this, and this is really, I am so tired of overhyping sporting events. I am so tired of it. It is just tedious. It really is. How many broadcasters do we have to cover one event? And it never used to be this way back in the day. Now you've got every single sport. When it gets to any level of playoff or anything like that, it's just it's way overblown. And I'd love to see him. It won't happen. It's
How
too
will
much
they,
money.
Especially doing that. Sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
Mike, how will they hype the rematch? Because
there won't be a rematch.
You don't think there will
won't
be?
No, I don't think there's a chance. No, there's no chance. It's not like it was anything other than an exhibition, which it was
Tyson-
originally starting out.
It was a
Tyson wants-
sanctioned fight though, and he wants to fight Logan Paul.
Tyson
Mike
tried to
Tyson's
immediately bring up
words.
the brother. So in
Now-
other words, I want another 20 million.
Now, is
Yeah.
Logan fighting as much? Logan's not fighting as much as Jake is. Is Logan fighting at
No.
all?
So I don't even think he trains anymore. I know he's in the WWE like as a part timer, and he's actually really good at it. Like I got to give him his props to that because as a fan, like it's like you guys know, it's a big guilty pleasure for me where I love wrestling, and he's really good at it. So I can't.
And
I
that
can't
announcer was
wait.
every bit wrestling. Oh, my God, he's
Yeah,
thrown him on the ground, and he's hit him over the head with a chair. That guy is just, oh, my God, he's
and
terrible.
wrestling is also, the WWE is also coming to Netflix live in next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
so there's the
That
connective
makes sense.
tissue
Yeah.
there. That's the way that worked. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a -2. I thought it was that bad. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that fight that wasn't annoying to me. Well, I will give one group of credit to the 2 women boxers who were
They were
just
great.
vicious. That was and it made me realize what a real boxing match can be if people are in there trading blows. People want to see a fight. That's what it's all about. That's why it's our animal nature. Feed it. Don't give us the dance around. It's
People want to
ridiculous.
see blood and all this stuff. They don't want to see a young guy hugging an old guy for
kind of
8
sad.
rounds.
Kind of sad. And by the way, based on the performance, this is an old reference to an old product. I don't think he should fight either Jake Paul again or Logan Paul. He should be fighting Mrs. Paul.
Look out.
There we go. Robert, thank you for the fight analysis.
Love you, son.
I appreciate that. You take care of yourself. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't get to tell you. And you get better and better every time you come on this show.
Thank you. I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. I always have such a blast coming on here.
Thanks, buddy. It was great seeing you in Vegas. That's your son, Robert III. And how dare you? I didn't want to give you a lot of crap when
What?
he was here. You passive,
I don't-
disinterested man. This is your son who's coming on to talk about the fight. You could have watched it at any time. You could have watched a chunk of it. You don't like to, so you don't choose to.
I don't
I
like
appreciate
boxing. Anything
that you didn't
about it.
even pretend.
I would have been more frustrated. Well, he couldn't. He couldn't pretend.
Yeah.
He couldn't fake that.
Well, he
couldn't
could've.
fake that.
It was all over the place this weekend. He could have easily read an article or two or watched a couple highlights on TikTok.
Yeah.
His
I
kid's
could've.
coming on to talk about the fight. You know,
I was curious what he had to say.
amazing.
It's my son.
Did the exercise intellectually ever enter your mind? Did you ever think I really should for the show watch the fight?
No.
What did you
my
do on
exercise
Friday night?
was go to bed. I think I went to bed at 8
Well, what did
o'clock.
you watch then? What did you watch?
I think I went
on
to
your
bed
fight?
at 8 o'clock following an episode of The Americans.
Okay.
Well, that
Yeah.
sounds like a better Friday night, actually.
Yeah,
But, Mike, I
you
want
didn't
you
waste
to
the
know.
time. I wasted a lot of time on
And
that.
that was
Friday
part of
night.
it too. I mean, I did think about this as a big deal, and as I went to bed, I told Carrie, this is going to be on Netflix. But I knew it was going to be some sort of disappointment. The technology breakdown was a surprise. I did not expect that. But
You mean as far as the fact that it
streaming,
was
yeah.
streaming? Josh, what can you offer on that? Did you do any
the streaming
dives on
side?
the streaming side? They just couldn't handle it with the volume. Is that what happened?
But it makes no sense because when Peacock can stream NFL games with just as many viewers,
Yep.
when everyone else can do streaming properly, Netflix is supposed to be like the founder of all this internet
Yep.
streaming.
Yeah, and they have the
And
best
and the
platform
fact
of
that-
anybody out there.
And it's all supposed to go through like these Amazon servers. And the way it's always been explained to me is you just have to fire up more servers. It's the way they've done it in every movie. If it's a bunch of bandwidth, if a lot of things are being hit, fire up more servers. And I don't understand why they were not able to do this for Netflix.
It was a massive disappointment, and maybe I'm just jealous that Rob didn't have to waste any of his weekend, and I had company. So I
No.
mean, it was just
Well,
crazy.
it had
crazy
to be
time.
nice to watch it with company. That would be better than
well,
watching
if
it with
it
your
had
wife.
been something decent to watch, it would have been great. Yes,
Well, he made
Josh,
you
you were
laugh.
going to say
Well, I
something.
was just wondering, the previous live event that Netflix did was the hot dog eating contest. So I was wondering if Rob tuned in for that one.
Did you
I
watch
did not.
that?
I did not. But you know what?
Right.
They did another. They did another live event. They did the Chris Rock special, and that was live. And
As
I think
I'm
they
going to
screwed
give.
that
I'm
up,
just
too.
going to give one piece of advice to our man from Leesburg here.
Yes.
All right, Rob. And we used to be reminded of this on the old Don and Mike show. As a pop culture commentator, you have a tiny responsibility to your audience to be up on these things. You
This is
really,
true.
really do. And I don't bother you on the weekend. I don't call you and say, make sure you watch this or anything like that. But especially with your son coming on. But
I suppose. Yes, you're right. You're right. I should have watched it.
It's but it's fine. Look at the family you brought to Las Vegas. I didn't. I mean, that's great. I think that's.
Well, your family came to see you at home.
They did this weekend. Yes, Josh, you were going to say something else.
Last thing with Netflix and the streaming issues is I don't think it's fair to give Netflix a pass saying it was a free event.
It's not.
Because we're all paying for Netflix.
Exactly.
And when you
exactly.
pay for something, you expect it to work. I don't care if a fight would normally be a pay-per-view.
And they pissed me off as much as any pay-per-view would. So that's good. And by the way, Rosie Perez, I would have put somebody else in that role. I really would. I mean, I think it would have been much.
Hey, everybody, this is Reba McEntire.
Now I'm watching.
There you go. We have to take a break. We will be back.
The kids from the Outer Banks.
Yes. We will be back with the round table and a quick recap of what we all bitched about in the first segment. And then later on, I'll tell you about the royal visit. My sister coming to town after a very, very long time. We'll be right back, everybody. Hey, what are your goals for the upcoming holiday season? International travel, connecting with family and friends. Remember, learning a new language can mean meaningful conversations and cultural appreciation. Can you imagine chatting with your relatives from the old country in their native tongue? You can do it. You simply need Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone has been a trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users. They offer 25 languages: Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch, Arabic, Polish, plus the built-in True Accent feature, you know I love this, gives you feedback on your pronunciation. I mean, this is meant for me. I love it so much. It's like having a personal trainer for your dialect. Rosetta Stone is also an amazing value, a lifetime membership that offers lifetime access to all that Rosetta Stone offers for 50% off. It's a steal. Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a short time, TMOS listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership holiday special. This offer will not last long. Visit rosettastone.com/today. Listen, that's unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your holiday offer at rosettastone.com/today. Do it for yourself or as a gift that keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen.
I just got a text from Robert. He says,
Yes.
that was fun. And Trip Affleck in the chat room says, Robert, call me. So I don't know what's going on. But,
oh my! That's
settle down, Triple.
That's quite interesting. We'll move on. There we go.
Thank you. I think that's the best move.
Well, we mentioned it before. Hype fight, boxing matches of all time was a complete dud. 58-year-old Mike Tyson never got out of the gear, first gear that is, and Jake Paul, 27 years old, was either unwilling or unable to finish an opponent more than twice his age. The fight went the full 8 rounds. Of course, it did. Unanimous decision for Jake Paul. It seemed like Tyson spent more time biting his glove than he did throwing punches. Later, he admitted that he has, quote, a biting fixation.
That's not what I heard, Mike. Because you know they were using 14-ounce gloves, right?
Yummy, yummy, love them.
The extra 4 ounces was marshmallow cream.
Yummy,
and that's what
delicious.
Do you like that?
After the fight, Tyson tweeted that he's actually lucky he made it to bell time alive. He said,
This is one of those situations where you get lost but still won, where you lost but still won.
yeah, $20 million. That's a win.
I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in the ring one last time.
He said,
I almost died in June. Had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood and 25 pounds in the hospital, and had to fight to get healthy to fight, so I won.
I never heard about that he was that sick.
No, his
like
doctor was doctor was Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Got him ready.
In a post-fight interview, Paul said he took his foot off the gas in the later rounds. Quote, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone who didn't need to be hurt. Isn't that nice in a boxing
That's
match?
diminishing the entire product.
He
Way
added
to go,
that he
asshole.
didn't feel much power in any of Tyson's punches. An estimated 60 million plus people watched the fight or tried to. The buffering was a
tried
pain
to.
in the ass. Yeah, it was frustrating, and you knew right away. I knew immediately. We're all savvy enough, those of us that have had that happen before, when you see that starting to go. And my speeds for doing this podcast, it was ridiculous and very, very frustrating as well. America's Golden Girl Betty White is being honored next year with her own stamp. Way to go, Postal
love it.
Service.
I love it.
She is among the first 2025 designs the U.S. Postal Service announced on Friday. Betty was chosen as an icon of American television who, quote, shared her wit warmth with viewers for 7 decades. The USPS added, quote, the comedic actor who gained younger generations of fans as she entered her 90s was also revered as a compassionate advocate for animals. It's been almost 3 years. The clock on the wall goes fast that she passed away, just 18 days shy of her 100th birthday. In case you're interested, other 2025 designs include dahlias, the Appalachian Trail, musician Alan Toussaint, a Keith Haring love design, a 1794 compass rose, and a snake for the Lunar New Year.
That's nice.
Really
Can I
didn't care
repurpose an
about
old
any of
joke
it.
for the Betty White stamp?
Absolutely.
Betty White stamp, it's a 60-cent stamp, but if you lick it, it's $1.
There you go, everybody. Moving right along, everyone. Donald Trump's election victory has already been good for one business. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it intrigues me. It's called Blue Sky, and it's basically Twitter or X, if you will, but supposedly without the toxicity or the link to Elon Musk. Since the election, millions of people have either left Twitter for Blue Sky or at least opened Blue Sky accounts and pledged to do most of their social media business there.
I opened a Blue Sky account this weekend.
Did you really?
I did.
I tried it out as well.
And
I found it hard to navigate.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I mean, so X is easier for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think they will probably, you know what, there was enough of a blip in the social media radar. I think that they can probably get it together and turn this into something.
I don't think it's a good thing.
You don't think? It's a good
No,
thing in what way?
Because it's not, hey, this is a better software program. This is a better X. It's none of that. It's let's go here and avoid the Republicans. And I think separation as a country of going everyone in their bubbles is bad for the country.
Disagree. Since
How
the
did
election,
you get a membership, Josh?
Since the election, millions of people have left Twitter. Journalists and media outlets in particular have been flocking to Blue Sky. Celebrities, Lizzo, Barbara Streisand, Quinta Brunson, James Gunn. James Gunn like Project Runway James Gunn? Hello there.
James Gunn, like the director.
John Cusack, Guillermo del Toro, Ben Stiller, Flavor Flav, Patton Oswalt, our buddy, Weird Al Yankovic, tons more. As of just a few days ago, Blue Sky had 16.7 million users and was gaining about 1 million a day, but it has a long way to go if it wants to catch up to Twitter's 300 million monthly active users. Even Threads, part of Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, have 250 million. I don't know.
Right, that
Threads,
was the first attempt.
Right?
At this.
And
You
Mike,
think
you
this
were
is gonna
referring to Tim Gunn.
Oh, that's right. Not James Gunn. My favorite Gunn.
I like Peter.
Peter Gunn.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me. Another small piece of your innocence will be chipped away when Popeye becomes a horror movie villain.
Yes, finally.
The movie, simply called Popeye, is expected to be released in January. It's not part of the Pooniverse that started with the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey.
I remember that, yeah. As all these people fall into, like, I guess, public domain, now they're allowed to do it, right?
Yeah,
It's,
Steamboat Mickey was this past year as well.
Evil Mickey. It's the same basic idea. It's described as, quote, a raunchy and gory slasher.
Nice.
Where Popeye attacks a group of counselors who are trying to open a summer camp. Obviously, you couldn't pick a less original premise or a plot that has less to do with the actual Popeye character. Seriously, summer camp, that's what it is. My guess is they chose it simply because it's the cheapest idea to film, which doesn't make me confident we've got a winner on this in any way, but it's kind of
Still
funny.
might be better than the one with Robin Williams.
Oh, God. And Shelley Duvall. Remember
and
that?
Mike, I think that the success of this lies in 4 words. Olive oil, full frontal.
It says raunchy. So
I know.
I'm curious what the raunchy will bring us. You know, you never know.
No mention of spinach in the whole thing?
I eats me spinach. When you text LOL, how often are you really laughing out loud?
Never.
A new study found you might want to dial back your use of abbreviations like that. They can make you seem like a big phony. Researchers tracked text exchanges of more than 5,000 people and found we're seen as less sincere when we use shorthand phrases like LOL and OMG. The researchers were surprised. They assumed most people were cool with those abbreviations because they seem friendlier and less formal. But it turns out, I'm a big LOLer. I probably shouldn't do it as much.
Me too.
It turns out they can make people feel like you don't really care. If you want someone to know you really did find something funny, you're better off using full words. Instead of LOL, say something like, I'm cracking up.
Josh is great with the guy that laughs till he has tears coming out of his eyes. That's a good one that Josh, you use that emoji sometimes for laughter.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Context is, go ahead.
I was going to say, if I ever really mean it, I write literal LOL. Otherwise, I just see it as like a dismissive thing.
If I really mean it, I put LMFAO, laugh
Yes.
my effing ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Context is important, too. It matters if you already have a close relationship with the person. For example, using LOL with your best friend lands differently than using it with someone you just started dating. 99% of people in the study said they use abbreviations in their texts sometimes. So it's something pretty much everyone does now. And, I'm not going to nitpick from that if
Mike,
you're communicating and laughing.
Do you remember the band, the group Godly and Cream?
No, I don't. No.
They had a couple hits in the 80s, but Cream's first name was Lol, LOL. So just think of that every time you put LOL down. Lol Cream from Godly and Cream. And I'm done.
Hold on just a second. I got to find it. It's all the way down.
I love a visit from my friends right about now.
It's hard to find, especially when you're really looking for it. Hi, guys. How you doing? Lol is the guy's name?
Lol Cream, yeah.
That was interesting.
Thank you. Oh, hi, buddies. Hey, crickets, did you watch the fight? I didn't.
Which one of these guys is Lowell?
I don't know. I think he looks like the one on the left. I think. Can we have that again? Mike, which one do you think is Lol?
I think Lol is definitely the guy on the left.
Yeah, I think so.
He looks like a Lol,
He looks like an emoji.
That's it, yeah. Congratulations. Finally today,
Yes.
a 28-year-old man from South Korea got arrested at an airport in Peru the other day. Did you get the picture I sent you of this, Josh?
I did.
After he was trying to smuggle 320 tarantulas through security by strapping them to his body. 285 were babies packed in plastic tubes, but the other 35 were full-grown tarantulas. There they are.
No. That's
There they
horrible.
are. They're described as the size of a human hand, and there they are. They're not exaggerating this.
Yeah.
He had them stuffed in bags and belted to his torso. Security flagged him when they noticed his stomach seemed abnormally swollen. On top of the 320 tarantulas, he also had 110 centipedes strapped to his body and 9 bullet ants. We had that guy Coyote Ugly on the show one time. Remember,
Yeah.
he got stung by a bullet ant? And they've got the most painful sting of any insects. And a centipede can give you a horrible sting, too. They think he poached them from the Amazon with plans to resell them overseas. He was flying back to South Korea with a layover in France.
Oh,
If-
classic spider stealing behavior.
And if the tarantulas were flying American Airlines, they definitely would have been boarding in Group 9. Yeah, Group 9. That's my little tribute to American Airlines. Boarding Group 9. My boarding group, the last one, mind you.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's top of his class, mind you. I was boarding. I'm trying to do the It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, you're doing Mr. Potter. Top of his class, mind you.
Top of his class, mind you. Boarding Group 9, the connection all the way back, and the one-way to Las Vegas. Boarding Group 9, giving the plane plenty of time to smell like a fart. The fart of an exiled Cuban grandmother, ladies and gentlemen. The wet one. That's what I did. We will take a break, and we will come back, and it's either Christmas is ruined or pooping at work. I think we've done plenty of pooping at work. Let's find out why as we start to ease into the holiday season.
Sure.
Why Christmas is ruined. Is ruined, ladies and gentlemen. Before that, we want to tell you that this program is sponsored by Liquid IV. I have really blasted through my Liquid IV today.
Hey, where's your red cup today?
I think it's in the dishwasher. So I didn't.
I think it's
get
mentioned
it.
in the copy, so you're gonna have
Oh,
to
really?
pretend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself the gift this season of hydration. Whether you forget to take a sip of water during the office holiday party or start feeling parched after a long day of traveling or hosting, keep Liquid IV on hand to stay hydrated through the holidays. I can't tell you how much better it makes me feel when I have my first Liquid IV. I do 2 cups of coffee in the morning. That ain't going to cut it. But once I take my Liquid IV into my body, it's fantastic. Rob's
Mike,
put
lemon
his
lime right here
in a
Lemon
smart
lime.
water bottle, and
Exactly.
and he loves it. Is
I
that?
do.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Is that really Liquid IV, or are you making
Yeah,
that
you know
up?
what I
Because
do?
it looks
No,
too clear.
No, what I do is I use a half dose. I like to do it between 2 bottles of water, but I love it.
You know, we don't talk about it enough, but you can, distribute the Liquid IV in your water any way you see fit. You
Exactly.
really can. I don't know whether they're going to mind us telling you that, but the truth is you can, and it's fantastic. I love it. You see me drink it every day out of the red cup, and now I've got the orange cup. It's the best. It keeps me going. Whether you get regular or sugar-free, I love the sugar-free. You can choose from about 1 million flavors, plus 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Don't think you don't need it. Winter will dehydrate you before you know it. Liquid IV to the rescue. Tear, pour, live more. Liquid IV, 1 stick, 16 ounces of water. Hydrates better than water alone. Stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code TMOS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order. Shop Better Hydration today using promo code TMOS at liquidiv.com. All right, well, they're already making a big deal. They're putting decorations up everywhere I see. It is the beginning of the holiday. We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving week, and my son has a full week off.
My son too.
Mine too.
When did that become a thing, boys?
No idea.
I thought it used to be like Wednesday through
No,
Friday.
it used to just be 2 days.
Used to be just Thursday and Friday.
Right,
Wednesday
Thursday
was the
and
last day of school. Now,
Yeah.
now they get the whole.
Yeah,
goddamn
Robert's
week off.
coming home a week before Thanksgiving Day.
Really?
Yeah, Thursday, because he doesn't have classes on Friday.
We love our family, but we're all reacting kind of the same way, aren't we?
Well,
except
I want that week.
I'd like that week too. But anyway,
But
let's.
what we do, Mike, is
Yes.
instead we provide the entertainment. La la la.
Because we care. We care
We do
so
care
bad it
desperately.
hurts.
Yeah. Mike,
If I was a man of means, I'd do Thanksgiving week in Ireland. I really would.
do
But I
they
can't.
have Thanksgiving in Ireland?
Don't care.
No,
I'd go over
no,
there
no,
anyway.
they don't. Thanksgiving is an American holiday.
Purely
Yeah,
American.
Yes.
So why would you go to Ireland then for Thanksgiving? Go there
Just
for something else.
We were talking about all sorts of stuff over the weekend. I'll tell you about it later. With my family in tow. And
What
I
about
think that
Christmas in Ireland?
Christmas in Ireland would be fun too. I think it'd be a beautiful holiday over there. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just feeling nostalgic for Ireland and my ancestors and all that after having my sister in town all weekend. But that doesn't have to do with Christmas. I want you
No.
to tell me why Christmas is ruined, please.
Mike, you have had a lot of rain down there because of the hurricanes, right?
The summer and early fall was some of the wettest weather and hottest weather I ever remember since I've been down here. And I've only been down here about a decade, but it was miserable.
Not so in the northeast portion of these United States where many Christmas trees are grown.
Kathy
It's been-
was telling me how little rain they have had back east, they'd say.
Yeah. Mike, at this point, nearly 60% of the Northeast is in a drought. And because of this, all of the Christmas trees are dying that have not yet been cut, especially younger trees.
Because they're not irrigated like normal irrigation for farming. When they put
No.
those out in Mother Nature, and they plant them, but you kind of count on what's going to happen with Mother Nature, right?
Yeah, and in the past, it's never been a problem. They're a pretty durable species, these Christmas trees. They grow and grow and grow. Now, I used to go up to a farm in Indiana, Pennsylvania, Musser Forests, And it was so cool when you'd pull up because you would see hillsides with rows and rows of trees that they would plant to work in phases. And these are for 3 years from now, and these are 2 years from now. And they're really majestic and beautiful. But now all of the young trees are yellow and dying. There's one guy in Massachusetts. He lost 500 of 2,700 trees that he intended to sell this year.
And this is big business, as you know. You would go. I know the profit and the prices on trees much more expensive than when you were hawking them. But what was the? Give us the numbers between what you bought them for when you wholesaled them and what you would sell those for in the DC area.
Did the math in my head, and it was always about 300% markup.
Okay, all right.
We would spend about $15 for a tree that we'd sell for about $50. And it got worse and worse towards the end because the trees got more expensive wholesale, but also the trees themselves, people would scoff at the price because you were spending so much money. And we were not Costco. We were a little roadside stand selling trees. So we couldn't, people.
Did you ever have any particular years where you were like, oh my God, Christmas is better this year because we just killed it on our Christmas trees?
I believe it was Christmas of 1984. We sold every tree by the 22nd. And it was amazing.
And people just wanted them.
Yeah, and we had an empty lot. Now, one of the traditions is on Christmas Eve, we'd gather around the fire barrel, and my grandfather would come and make his little Christmas speech and give us our pay for working the Christmas trees that year. And it was always very fun. So that was the year that we all met, and there were no trees, and he made a deal with me because his brother, Sam, who was a little shiftier than him, went out.
What do you mean by that? You got to explain that a little bit. A little shiftier than him.
My grandfather, as you know, sold some vegetables, but his main job was the furniture store, right?
Okay.
That was his main business. His brother, Sam, who was a little older, his main job after retiring from the government in like 1960 was buying and selling produce, buying and selling trees. He was a roadside merchant, and he had a flair for the dramatic that would oftentimes get people in there. I remember one time he put up a sign that said, "Ice cold watermelon." And the pile of watermelons, he had poured 3 bags of ice on it. But I'm talking like a huge truckload of watermelons.
But making it more appealing by ice cold.
Yeah, and the other one, a big favorite of his was, look, school time apples. Whatever that means. It would run in like August and September, and in the look, he would put eyes. So look, school time apples.
You get a little of him. You got a little of him in your body, right?
I love it. I love it. I think it's so great.
That's awesome.
But he was, he was the same one that in the summer, my father, a much younger Bob Spewak, worked at his vegetable and fruit stand. And I don't know if you've ever been to one. The worst thing in late summer is if you're selling peaches. Bees love peaches.
Bees!
Bees and yellow jackets would be swarming. And he said, Robert, that's what he called my father. He said, Robert, don't flinch when the bees sting you. It scares the customers.
That's cool. I'm glad you went. I'm glad you gave us that detail. That's awesome.
But Uncle Sam was just about the greatest. And also what was funny about Uncle Sam is that, he and my grandfather, I knew them when they were in their 80s, and they'd get together and they'd still be brothers. They'd still argue about the same stuff. You could see them being 10 years old.
That's cool.
Anyhow, we got out of it because of that. But that year we sold all those trees. Sam went out west, they'd say, and bought about 20 cedars. Now, the cedar is the worst Christmas tree you can imagine. It is an evergreen.
I think if it's stinking.
Yeah, well, it smells like cedar, but also the branches are vertical as opposed to going out, so you really can't decorate them, and they're about as thick as a Sharpie. They're just ugly trees, but there was just a shortage that year. So my grandfather said, you can stay here as long as you want and sell these cedars for as much as you can get them, and we'll split it 50-50. And that was the greatest Christmas Eve for me because people were still coming by.
Because you sold them?
Yeah. And, you're only making like, I don't know what Sam paid for them, but we sell them for like $25-$30 each. And every one of those is $15 in my pocket. So that was awesome.
There you go. That's fun. That's a good tradition that you
I loved
have
it.
there. Look, we've done the artificial forever. Our little GE pre-lit Christmas
It
tree
was
has
so
lasted.
sad. It was
This
so
is-
sad when we switched to artificial. I
This
hate
is
it.
my first year with an artificial.
Did you already acquire it?
I got irritated at the price of Christmas trees last year.
Yes.
So right after Christmas, I bought one of the discounted artificial trees.
Attaboy. That's smart.
The idea of what do they go for now, Rob? What are
I
they
just looked it
averaging
up.
out there? Okay.
The average price this year is $100 a tree.
That's stupid. That's
Yeah,
stupid
for
money.
something
And
that's going to be in
also-
your room for 3 weeks.
Yeah, really.
Also, what
I
you
think
got to
so.
know, Mike, is that trees grow fast until they're like 3 or 4 feet tall. Then every year they grow slower and slower and slower and slower. So if you get a very tall tree, anything above like 8 feet, it becomes exponentially more expensive because it takes.
See,
a
he's
longer
still
time for
selling,
them to grow.
Josh. He's still
No.
selling. You see,
You can't take it out of him.
Yeah, you can't
it's
take
not necessarily- I'm not
that's the
selling
grift
everything.
right there. Yeah, it takes hundreds of years for these trees to mature.
But
It's,
we were the only
spectacular.
stand. We were in McLean, Virginia, which is just outside of D.C. We were the only stand that sold what they call specimens, which were trees 10 feet and taller. And so we sold them to churches and like big mansions and stuff like that wanted to have 12 and 13-foot trees. But I can't even imagine what one of those would cost now. My artificial tree is a 9-footer, and that's perfect for my house. But a 9-foot tree now would probably be $300 because they grow so slow. But they've got this guy that's living in Massachusetts. He's watering his trees by hand to try and. That's how bad it is.
Wow, and that's probably going to be tough, right, to do that because you got to get water on them all the time. They're thirsty little buggers.
If you
aren't
want a 12-foot tree right now, the average price is $495.
Oh my God! It's once again anything good being priced out of the common man's reach. That's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's ridiculous.
That's why
it's a
we ruined
ripoff.
Christmas, Mike. That's how you ruin Christmas.
Oh my God! That's why Christmas is not coming this year.
What?
It is not coming. There it is. When we come back, I will talk about the royal visit, ladies and gentlemen. But first, let me tell you about.
Kathy can bring back Christmas, can't she?
Only she can. Only she can. Listen up, maniacs. Derm Glow Skin has the help you need, and it's delivered right to your front door. Derm Glow Skin now offering microdosing, semaglutides, or tirzepatide. So, what does that mean, microdose? No BMI requirement, body mass index. This is a game changer. If you don't qualify for weight management because your BMI is too low, you can still qualify for microdosing. Find microdosing under the longevity tab at dermglowskin.com. Also, don't forget to remember that Derm Glow Skin also has PT141 to improve your sexual health and satisfaction, B12 for energy, NAD Plus for the fountain of youth. Take that every day, too. And Samoralin and Synapsin for that brain fog. Have everything delivered to your home and start improving yourself. Hey, to our listeners, some of you from Vegas that were talking to Carla, and now you're a client of my wife's. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to hear about a healthier new you. This is the first step to being a better you, ladies and gentlemen. Payment plans and Afterpay are available. So what are you waiting for? Age well with peptides. And remember, Carla's always there for any questions you may have. I'm Mike O'Mara, and I love to get busy. Shut up. God.
Well, Mike, that could be anything.
My God. Yes, though it couldn't. All right, here it is.
Fountain of youth.
As you know, last week I made reference to it that it had been a good long time since I had seen my older sister, my big sis, and her hubby. And about 3 months ago, they scheduled a visit to come down and join us right before Thanksgiving. And I would love to get on here and tell you about something horrible that happened. I would love to get on here and tell you that she gave me a hard time about this or I gave her a hard time about that. I would love to say that. But I am telling you, if we could have get-togethers with friends as good as the get-together that I had with my sister and brother-in-law, I would be a happy man. We had an absolute blast. They were so wonderful. It made me realize that when we get together with them, which we should do more often, that we have more fun than anything else. And when we're just with Kathy and Paul by themselves, it's like we're buds. And we had a absolutely incredible weekend.
Did she like the accommodations?
The accommodations, because I have a studio where Michael slides into the bedroom with us, and Kathy and Paul used Michael's bedroom, and, they're teeny. They're fine. They can handle that, and, that's
Were
where
they
they
annoyed
slept.
by your house having a lack of steps?
That is a great line. I hope Kathy gets to hear that.
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, not enough steps. Oh my God!
Because
yes.
they live in a vertical house, don't they?
They live in a completely vertical house. Yes, yeah. You get some paper towels. Step.
My sister from Boston.
Time for breakfast. Step. Then we're gonna go out and walk around Boston. Step back down. Step up. We had fun. I will tell you that Sanibel Island is where my sister used to have a little condo, and we have so many memories there. And the reason I am down in Fort Myers is because of them, because they had the place
Right.
A long time ago. So one of their big things was that they wanted to go over and see what the hurricanes had wrought on Sanibel.
So she had sold her place.
Long time ago,
Okay.
long before any of the storms down here, long time ago. And we go down there, and I have memories going back to my father traveling, being down here. That's how long ago they had the condo.
Well, it was for the land grab, wasn't it? In the 20s?
It was, it was funny because we pulled in, and there's sand everywhere, and there's construction equipment, and there are cranes, and there this and that and this. And the door is locked to the front, but it appears that there is some renovating going on, but the place is wiped out because they had a bottom floor. And they are literally beachside. And it was bittersweet for them. It was sad for me because I had all the memories to look at and to see what the ocean can do and see how much the damage that's occurred.
You didn't see the new owners, did you?
There were no new owners because the place has not been certified for occupancy, even on the upper levels. I don't think they've been cleared.
I had a vision of Kathy pointing at them and laughing.
Sucker.
Crying on the
Not
curb.
my problem.
Here's what I believe. I don't understand how you would possibly plan on renovating a sitting on the beach ground level unit. You're going to get
I would
whacked.
have to imagine that it would have to be a rebuild and maybe elevated. I mean, you can't
Right, put it on
renovate
some
it, right?
Well, these are massive 3, 4, 5-story condos that, the ones up top didn't get damaged, but the ones on the bottom are being renovated, and, they're as good as the next storm surge. And we got 2 issues of storm surge since Ian already, and that's what it is. But we had a good weekend, and we had lots of laughs. We watched one of their old funny movies, which they like so bad, which is Crazy Stupid Love, the Steve Carell movie.
Yes.
With Ryan. Which Ryan is it? Ryan Gosling, I think.
Doesn't matter. They're all the same.
And then we watched one of my all-time favorites, The Wrong Missy from Netflix,
it's
with
so
David
great.
Spade.
That's fun.
Such a funny movie. And
Lauren Lapkus is brilliant.
oh my God, she's the whole movie. I mean, I hadn't watched it in a while, and she is the whole movie. But it also occurred to me, and this is for anybody when you are being a guest in anyone's home.
Right.
And the number one quality, and I'd forgotten this, and believe me, I've given my sister crap over the years. We've made jokes about it, but the numero uno quality when you're staying at somebody's house is helpfulness. And it was just, she's a whirling dervish.
It's the
greatest.
greatest.
And, it's just, and that's why I've kind of instilled that in my son. There's nothing worse than being a house guest, and I'm probably guilty of this, where you go into somebody's house and you just sit there like a bump on a log, and you don't just step up. And by the way, don't ask. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just get in there and clean up the dishes and put stuff away. And the only time that I had one moment that was even slightly negative came from me with my sister, because we took Paul down to my son's baseball practice on Sunday morning. And Kathy was responsible for getting the chicken. We do boneless, skinless chicken thighs on the grill with barbecue sauce. They
best.
are the greatest. And we sent Kathy out to the store to get the chicken. She was going to do a power walk to the grocery store, and she came back, and we were cooking the chicken, and we put it down, and the inner fat man came out. because I perceived that there weren't enough pieces of chicken, even though I'm only going to have 2 or 3. That, as it turned out, but the inner fat man wants to see a heaping pile of chicken.
As a rule, overcook?
I overcook always because my mother, my comment to my sister was, hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the depression tree. And that's just talking about my mom. That's talking about my mom.
Tree.
Mom being a child of the Depression when these people from that generation were frugal when it came to food because things were scarce during the Depression. That's it. It's why our friends, the Adams, Mrs. Adams cut her English muffins in thirds. And we had a big laugh about that. But no, ever since I've been abundanza. But I'm here to say there were 4 pieces of chicken left. It was fine. I didn't need to do that, and all things were.
Did you mention
really
it out loud, or was it sort of an interior thing?
No, I said it was not there. Oh, is that enough chicken? It looks like the chicken doesn't fall far from the depression tree from Mom. She's like, what do you mean? I said, well, it's not a lot. I bought enough. No, you didn't. Yeah, I bought enough. It was like right away going back to being sister. But my son. My performative son, who was blasting the bassoon and his little clarinet all weekend, loved going, having Paul come to his baseball practice, and it was cool. As a matter of fact, Paul sent me. I'm going to send this to Josh. Okay. Paul sent me a picture of me at baseball practice, and
that's great.
All right, here we go.
Mike, you talk about frugality. That English muffins in thirds is a good one, but my Aunt Lina, who had
Lina,
who had 5 kids.
What kind of?
Well, my grandmother's name was Caroline, and that can be shortened to Lina. And then she was just Lina. She was never Caroline.
Someone's in the kitchen with Lina. Someone's in the kitchen. I know.
But she, it was, I think 5 kids she had. So she would add an extra can of orange juice, water when she did concentrated orange juice. You're supposed to put it in there and put in like 3 cans of water.
Yeah, where it's like nice pulpy and stuff, but it's watered down. See, I like watered down fruit flavor. I don't mind it at all.
I don't mind it either, but I always thought that was funny. She also saved the ends of string beans when she cooked them.
So Paul got a picture of me.
Here is Coach Mike.
Paul got a picture
look
of
at
me.
That.
That's me throwing batting practice. And the cool thing, there's my son on first base in back of me right there.
That's a cool picture.
That's a picture.
Do you see that white bucket next to his foot, Josh?
Yeah, the ace bucket.
Yeah, it's full of chicken thighs.
That's how many I want. That's how many I wanted.
That's how much it meant to me.
It was great. Kathy, Paul, love you guys. Thank you for coming down.
That's so cool.
They're on their flight. Their flight's already on its way up to Boston. So,
Mike, next season, get a stand for that bucket.
Get a stand for that. Yeah,
you don't have
smart.
To bend over as much.
That's a very, very good idea. Right now, I use the kids. We'll take a break and come right. I'm not lying. We'll come right back with some beautiful video. Right,
like there's going to be a next year.
Mike O'Leary Show. Hey, what kind of night is it? A single, double, triple, or a quad? I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm talking about Soul's out-of-office microdosed THC gummies. Did you know that you can buy hemp-derived THC products legally anywhere in the U.S.? Through our partner, Soul. Soul's new out-of-office gummies are perfectly microdosed with hemp-derived THC and CBD to give any day that chillin' on the beach vibe. I had some last night. I cannot believe I didn't know you could buy THC products online like this. Out-of-office gummies give you that warm, fuzzy, euphoric, microdosed feeling without sending you to the moon, Alice. You can go for a jog, watch your favorite TV show, or head out to a party. Whatever, they taste amazing. They're delicious, and their effect is wondrous. Yes. Sometimes getting high can cause its own stress, but microdoses of THC keep you feeling good without the anxious thoughts. And Soul can help with sleeplessness, anxiety, focus, and pain. Soul's products are grown right here in the USA, organically farmed and gluten-free. This holiday season, give the gift of Soul. Give it to grandma, put it under the tree. Head to getsoul.com and use code TMOS for 30% off your order. That's 30% off your order using code TMOS. One last time, getsoul.com and code TMOS for 30% off. We thank you for for Soul. We appreciate them. And now
like that
there he is.
Beautiful video.
Beautiful video, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, I didn't mention it when my son was on the air, but one of the reasons I went to bed early on Friday may have been related to that client.
Ah, yes. Little gummy action.
Yeah, it makes you sleepy.
Soul got me through Vegas. Anytime you saw me in Vegas, I had Soul.
There would have been a murder on the citrus pool deck of the downtown Grand Hotel if Josh had not been under the influence of Soul gummies.
Yes.
I can say that
The
without
internet is
any
broken.
hesitation.
I
Yes.
understand that the Tyson Paul fight was actually streamed through the pool deck and their broken internet, and that's why it kept breaking up. Mike, let's get into a topic we can all relate to.
All right.
Australia is a funny nation. It's a funny continent. I think they're less stuck up than many other people. And as a proof, I offer this. This is the Australian version of the Today Show. It's still called the Today Show.
I love clips from this show. I really do. I enjoy their version of the Today Show. They're much looser and much more fun, in my opinion.
You nailed it. And they are talking about a study that's being done. They need volunteers for a study on gut health.
Well, they're all being asked to kick up a stink in the name of science. It's part of a national gut health study. The CSIRO has released the app. It's called Clean. It's called Chart Your Fart for participants to use over 3 days to enter in data such as smell, loudness, and the all-important duration.
It's a squeaky one.
A recent study found 60% of people self-identified as having excessive flatulence, up to 43% experienced reporting it. I can't even speak.
43% of Australians reported having flatulence each and every day. But what you said in the commercial break is, ladies don't fart.
You don't.
Ever.
It's science, scientifically proven.
How
Is that
long?
right?
I want to know, guys. How long into a relationship can you just let one rip?
Well, I think
Can
a
you
true
what?
sign of
What
love
did you say?
is
Can you what, Sophie Walsh?
Let one rip.
a true sign of love is letting one rip.
Can you
Letting
imagine
one rip. There you go.
Hoda Kotb doing that? Her head would split open.
No, they'd
Savannah.
be so, no, we're a tight ass country. We are. I mean,
Savannah
really, they're
farts
just loose
all
in
the
Australia.
time,
They really
by
are.
the way. Yeah, Savannah's horrible.
And Al, don't get me started on Al Roker.
But they say it's
Oh,
changed
my
since
God.
his surgery.
Hey, Josh, we can only see half of your head.
Sorry.
There you go. Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get a full disclosure here. Mr. Soroka is battling a severe sinus infection, and he has been sick since he came back from Las Vegas. I blame it on the stress of dealing with people at the downtown Grand.
I blame it on Frontier Airlines.
Frontier Airlines, yes, breathing all those Griblies. Yep.
The type of people that fly Frontier Airlines.
There you go. Cough, cough, hack. There he is.
All right, Mike. I love this because this guy is not looking for trouble. He's just driving around listening to George Benson, which is my favorite part. and they go into a traffic roundabout and gets hit. And neither one of these guys seems to know the really the method for properly using a roundabout. And I probably don't know all that well either. But just check out this guy cruising, having a blast.
Florida?
Probably.
Because Florida doesn't know how to use a roundabout either.
No, they don't.
But just, I love the first moments of this where this guy's just driving, listening to George Benson.
What are you honking at me for, dipshit?
So now turn off the music.
Dude, that's not how that works. I have the straight. I have the straight. You were coming through here.
You have the yield, dude.
I don't have the yield. Nobody in the track.
he has
Everyone
the
coming
yield.
in has the yield. I promise you that.
Did you hit my shit?
No, I didn't hit. Did you hit my shit? Is the question, man. I do too, motherfucker. Don't worry about it.
You better pull over.
Oh, fuck up.
Now,
Isn't that
when I
nice?
see that video, it
Yes.
looks like
There's a yield
the
sign
the,
back
the
there.
truck that is going through first it has, and then you look and you see the yield sign, which indicates that that's the guy that gets hit. That's his yield. He's got to
Right.
slow down. So
Right.
But I've never seen a yield sign on a traffic circle.
Right.
pointed
Doesn't it
towards
look,
the
Josh,
circle.
like the yield is in the middle of the circle?
Yes, which
Which
makes no
means
sense.
the yield has to be on the outside for the cars coming into the circle.
Correct.
At least that's the way it
Mike,
looked to me.
I'm going for
Maybe
a
that
drive.
sign's been hit and turned, like bent.
Yeah, maybe it has. Yeah. But there's a little George Benson to make it all go away. Have your soul
Into the
gummy.
night.
Yeah.
Mike, did you hit my shit?
You hit my ass. Come on now, man. Come
All
on.
right. I used to be a member of Planet Fitness, and I was delighted with them. I thought they were great. Very clean, lots of Windexing going on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would want to go to this Planet Fitness.
Oh, health clubs in general gross me out. They always have. They really, really have. They're just
All I wanted to do was
gribblies.
a place where I could go and get on the elliptical. But this is different because you can buy, Mike, just so you know, when you sign up at Planet Fitness, they'll try to upsell you. They'll give you access to the gym, but perhaps you want to use one of their red light machines, or you want to use a tanning bed, or you
Oh, they
want to
got
use a
me.
massage chair. Yeah,
I did
it's
the
easy
upsell.
to it gets upsell.
What's the red light machine?
It's
like
go
for
ahead,
your
Josh.
skin.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be better for your skin and like
and energize
UV
you.
protection or
It's
something.
all snake oil. It doesn't work.
Okay.
But anyway,
It's like
this
a tanning bed.
This Planet Fitness not so
Seen
great.
a couple dozen people come in and out of this Planet Fitness on Tuesday, just one day after
This
a man
girl.
was found dead
Yeah,
inside
she
of a
handsome.
tanning bed.
Nobody ever thinks you're going to go to a gym on a Monday morning and, potentially be in the same building as a dead body.
Elizabeth Lynn says her Monday morning workout started like any other day until she noticed a foul smell.
And I was kind of like sniffing, trying not to look crazy, but I was like, something smells really awful here.
That smell coming from one of the tanning bedrooms,
Oh,
where 39-year-old Derek Sink was found dead.
The first thing that kind of went off in my head was, lack of attention from the staff members at Planet Fitness, which is pretty disappointing because
Yeah.
maybe it could have been prevented.
Mike, he was there for 3 days before he was discovered.
My God, that means they don't even glance in there.
No,
They
not
must
even-
be the
they should
laziest.
They should be wiping that down.
Oh my
Or at
God.
least opening all those doors before they close up for the night.
Absolutely. How disgusting is that? Well, that's terrible. What a terrible look for that company.
Now there's timers on those machines, so he wasn't cooking for 3 days, right?
I don't know. They showed a picture, and he has a beautiful medium rare. It was
God, that is so. And a young dude. Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
But how about that poor lady?
Oh,
What's that
gross.
smell?
What is that? Somebody in here.
All right, Mike, let's close with this. I love gummy candies. I like gummies from Seoul. It's just a very popular thing. There's a company, I think it's called Trolley or Trollo, that has come out with a frozen gummy pop where you freeze it like a popsicle, but it stays gummy in its texture. And I want you to see who's barking.
But that's Josh's.
The landscaper showed up and she's not happy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Welcome to Florida, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis the time.
so this is the new popsicle that is a gummy popsicle, and I don't know why it's going crazy on the internet.
We're trying the new Trolley Gummy Pops. These are brand new. They're rolling out to stores now. And it's supposed to not be like a popsicle, more like a gummy worm texture in frozen form. So let's see how this goes. I am super curious.
Okay.
I got this at Walmart. They're in 2 flavors. They only have one of them there. Oh, that's weird.
Oh,
this is
there you
frozen. Look at that.
That
is the weirdest thing. Well,
That-
let's see
that
how
is
it
weird,
tastes.
dude.
I'm kind of afraid to eat this on camera. So let's see how it goes. Wow. That's a really cool texture. It is not at all like a popsicle. It's more like creamy.
Gross. All I know is
I might have to go to Walmart.
Mike,
It
if that
intrigues me.
It intrigues me. I got a Walmart right next door. Yes, sirree.
Mike, if that
Taste test
popsicle-
tomorrow, boys. Taste test
Sure.
tomorrow.
Sure.
I'll try to
Sure.
do it. Remember, I'm the only one that screws that up normally. I will try to locate one by the end of today. I will.
And if that popsicle lasts you more than 4 hours, please call a doctor.
Call it doctor, yes. Very, very Peni-like.
Yeah.
It was indeed. Our thanks to Robert III to come on and talk
Yay.
about the scam/fight. And always good to see your young man who gets better looking every
I
single
love him
day.
so bad. He's the
We'll be
best.
back tomorrow with a brand new episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. We thank you for joining us. And don't forget, our Christmas ornaments are on sale. Our little teeny tiny, I had one, they're gone. I gave it to my sister. There it is. There's the tiny little Christmas ornament. Hang it from your tree. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. For Rob Spiewak and Josh Soroka, Mike O'Mara saying, so long, everybody.
Woof, woof, woof.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
I Oh, you should see what it looks like from out here.
You jack with me and you'll be gone before you know it.
So what do you want me to do, drop my pants and fire a rocket?
We think of Rob as good Rob and bad Rob.